Welcome everybody to the Bartram Bridge Joint Preservation Board. March 25th, 2025, 7 p.m. Square. Okay, let's do a call to order. Derek Osner.
Bart Van Valkenburg.
We have Tony not here and
Absent.
Carol is absent.
Yep.
Should we do a moment of silence? Public comment for agenda items only. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address anything on the agenda? Now we can move forward to approving the agenda. Okay,
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
moving on the minutes.
Yeah. The minutes were sent out. Need a copy it?
Yeah. What?
I got one.
Oh, thank you. Or anything in here, Bart, that you saw?
No, I have, I'm fine. I'm good with it.
Guys, George? I'm gonna approve the minutes.
Yeah. Person to approve the minutes.
Second it.
Who made the motion? I can't hear you.
Derek,
Okay. You second?
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. Good.
Okay. Announcements, we don't have any. Reports, review and discussion on the Tredyffrin Easttown Historical Society quarterly article repaired to the Knox Covered Bridge at Valley Forge Park. So that's
That was
Bart.
the email that you sent out.
Okay, a couple weeks ago, I sent the article to everybody in the quarterly magazine, which we do, and it covered the damage, the problems that they ran into, a lot of great photographs. Picture of Joe McCarthy, who's the owner of Lancaster County Timber Framers. And my friend Roger wrote the article, and he has drone photography and really did a thorough study of it. Did you guys all see it?
Yeah, so I read through the.
Yeah. I mean, it's we're pretty proud of the magazine that we put out. And that was one of the key articles. The reason I wanted to bring it up and discuss it is I think we should do some press releases for the bridge construction to minimally the Daily Local in Westchester and the, I guess, Delaware County Times. I think they're owned by the same company. And then we send photographs and step by step and write a press release so that you just send it to one of their writers and they pencil whip it and publish it. What do you guys think?
Also, the
great
one
idea.
magazine that comes. For Newtown magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's a similar magazine.
Yeah.
Friends, there you go.
yeah. I'm not
I don't
familiar
know how
with
we
that.
get in contact with this.
When you do press releases, you just send it to the newspaper.
I'm sure Kathy knows.
Yeah.
And what's it called? Friends and
Friends and family.
I can't hear you.
Friends and family.
Yeah, Friends and Neighbors, Newtown Square Friends and Neighbors.
Okay, and then Edgemont also has a periodic monthly neighborhood thing, and Doug Humes writes the history part.
Yeah, they're owned by the same company, the
Yeah.
Newtown Square Friends
So,
and Neighbors and the Edgemont.
We'll just contact Doug, and then he can do that.
Willistown has the Willistown Crier too.
Yeah,
So we can ask Jennifer to put
yeah,
something
and
in
then
there.
I write for that.
Sure.
So I'll put together a press release. And maybe it'll be in several pieces. Finishing the masonry work, then looking into the other processes with the timber framing. And, maybe we can get it published once or twice during the process. Yeah, and then have a grand opening and a christening where, we can invite the public through Newtown Square Historic Society and Willistown. So we're all in favor of that. And I'll follow up on that.
To that Delaware County Historical Society meeting last month. I told you, George, about that. It was on a Sunday. You were at a baseball game or something. They had
Oh, the one over at the Mill House?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was at the Willows.
Yeah, the trail walk.
Yeah. but
Yeah.
so there was a lot of talk about this America 250, right? July 4th, 2026. Trying to get a lot of historical stuff. It's a good goal. Try to have the bridge done. I mean, if it's possible, be nice.
Yeah.
It's only been 10 years. What's going
Yeah, I mean, it's this big thing. The country's celebrating.
I'm involved in Chesco 250 planning.
Oh, you're right.
on? Don't they have funds available to that?
County.
Is it a county thing or is it a federal thing?
No, it, just so everybody's aware, the America 250 was a federal plan and it was driven to the states. And then they would have Pennsylvania 250 and New Jersey 250. And the states drove it down to the county. And Chester County is very aggressive on Chesco 250. And they have 4 different layers of history in the Chesco 250, which is Pathways to Freedom, which is the Underground Railroad, the Rev War, agriculture, and iron and steel. And Brandywine Battlefield took place in Delco, Delaware County, and Chester County. But Chester County has taken operational control on the Rev War portion of Chesco 250. And then I've talked to the Delaware County people, and they're focused on the courthouse down in Chester and the World Cup, the All-Star game, but not so much as Chesco did with the 4 layers of history. And Chester County is working on establishing heritage centers, which are designed as a location where tourists can come and learn. And the heritage centers have to have handicapped accessible bathrooms. And then information in the kind of the waiting area. And there's one at the Four Dogs Tavern up in Marshallton, which has been up for years. Yeah, and that's kind of like the model. The Tredyffrin Township History Historic Commission is leading the September 1777 battles in Battle of Paoli and Tredyffrin. And the proposal's out to have one heritage center at the Dupertai House in Chesterbrook. And Dupertai was the engineer that laid out the Valley Forge encampment. And then to have a external building and And the size is, maybe 30 by 40, something like that. And then the second proposed one's at the Paoli Battlefield. And it can become a museum for that. Now, using Paoli Battlefield, that's in Malvern Borough. And that's the Rev War section. And there wasn't a lot of iron and steel in Malvern, and there wasn't a lot of the Path to Freedom in Malvern. But there was a lot of agriculture, especially in Willistown. And there's a little bit of the Path to Freedom in Willistown with the Quaker abolitionists. But Willistown doesn't need a heritage center because it has historic Sugartown, which is a whole little village that's perfect for that agricultural part for Willistown. So that's kind of where that's going. But Delco, not so much, and I wish they would jump on it a little bit more, especially when you have like Newtown Township's Historical Commission and a lot of the great historical stuff in Newtown. But it's a county-driven thing.
Yeah, following up with you're talking about, Bart, I attended a meeting with the county talking about, Delco 250. And it seemed like a lot of the focus was really on areas where there were going to be a lot of tourists coming in.
Right.
But they were focusing on things like the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
And those kind of things that were just bringing people in. It didn't seem like it was as directly tied to historic sites and those kind of things as it was. They were focusing on where people were going to be coming through.
And it's definitely driven on tourism. But what Chester County's decided is this is not for the semi-quincentennial. That's the 250th birthday, semi-quincentennial. It's permanent because the 4 layers of history aren't going to go away. They're going to stay there. So the idea of building the heritage centers and the information and signage is to be from 2026 through 2050. Just keep going.
You said those funds are already allocated to.
Chester County has funding and grant money out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there grant money for Delaware County?
It's up to the county. So you'd have to contact Delco 250. I don't know exactly what they're doing. But Chesco 250 has been very active for the last year plus. And we're fortunate in the Paoli Battle area where it took place in 5 townships: Tredyffrin Easttown, East Whiteland, Malvern Borough, and Willistown. And Rob Williams is the chairman of the Tredyffrin Historic Commission, and he's also on the board of Chesco 250. So he's running that September 1777 event, and then I'm his sidekick on that. So that's why I know a little bit more about it. Things are looking good. But there's a potential chance that some of these heritage centers and stuff will not be ready for 2026, maybe 2027, nobody's sure. But the goal is to get them there for permanent and to make it a stop where you've ever been on like the turnpike or something and you walk in there and they have the brochures laid out. Yeah, and then some maps and information stuff about the area and what we're talking about. And that allows the tourists to have a destination where they can learn something and see something.
I wonder if there's any money laying around in our county for the bridge.
That's where I was kind of getting.
We can make it an information. I'll put a couple brochures in there.
You have to talk to the county.
Would you talk to county council?
No, you talk to Delco 250. And in Chester County, it's driven by, oh geez, I forget, CCHS, or it's a county tourism and programming. And
That's what I mean. I just don't know if there was funding available. I mean, we can jazz the bridge.
Yeah. Yep.
Flags. Have you?
and
There's
funding,
some funding available for it.
funding's tight.
My understanding is that there was not funding that they were giving out to help bolster some of the historic sites, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
I believe Kathy Cavalier has the contact for the Delco people, so if,
I was just assuming it was
I
like
met the
from a
one
federal
girl.
level to the counties, then there's gotta be some form.
There are various ones. For example, Chester County has one that's township specific. And we missed out on getting our grant submission for the 21st of
So
March.
This would be something we'll probably.
So our
request a
next
due
one's
date on.
going, our next is going to be in September. So we'll have the grant prepared and be able to go to that. And Chesco's one is X dollars for the initiating township, and then a smaller portion for each stacked on township. So that, you know, it builds a dollar amount. And you use that to develop the programs. It's a, I forget the PPV grant, public. The Brandywine area, there was like 6 or 7 townships down there got together and got a grant and put up historic signage for the battle. They put up like 12 or 13 various highway markers to show the different locations of the battle, because the Brandywine battle was all over the place. There was a 19-mile flanking march by the British. They were everywhere. So,
Ed, I can forward you the contact information of the person that gave the meeting that I was attending. You know, she was not talking about grant monies or anything like that at all. That wasn't the focus of this meeting, but I'll send it to you because I know she was one of the Delco 250
She
people.
had like the calendars up and she was doing all the dates. I think I met her. I told her there was a possibility. We had a side of a building for rent. She wanted to put a banner on the side of the bridge for funding money. I did whisper in her ear about it, so, but yeah, I would love that. All right.
Financial reports.
Finance. What finances?
I'll give my brief one I got from our treasurer at Willstown, and then George will elaborate on the funding for the bridge project that we have going on currently. Right now, just basic cash balance 385,142. That includes a little over 10,000 for ground maintenance, legal maintenance, miscellaneous, electricity. Only expenditure so far this year, 131,06 for electricity. Included in that cash balance, we have 125 that was originally put in for the original, you know, for the project. And then another 250,000 that Willstown had budgeted this year for the repairs to succeed the masonry moving forward. But George has a little bit more elaborate report on that.
the main part of that is the upper one, which has the monies budgeted for the electric and burglar alarms and stuff like that, not the construction section. There we had was $131. Is that the electric bill, I think?
Yeah, the electric was the only expense.
Yeah.
So the 250 is the money that we budgeted on top of what we already had in there for
Yep.
construction for this year.
Yep.
And then the remaining 10,142 was the split up between the ground maintenance, legal, bridge maintenance, miscellaneous, and the electricity.
So really the 10,142.56 is the operating
Operating.
budget amount in there. Yeah. So the funds, and if you want, I'll jump into the Newtown report on the rehabilitation project. The funds that Willistown shows for their 125 and their 250 for the 2025 budget is part of the structural rehabilitation budget. So when you look at this one, you know, it's theirs is incorporated into this, as is Newtown's incorporated into it. So the original project, again, was $350,000, 125 from each township, and then the $100,000 grant from the state. That's a reimbursable grant. So we spend the money first, and then we get it back.
You don't have you don't have the 2025 capital expense budget. added to it.
No, the 2025 capital expense budget is mentioned at the bottom.
Yeah,
Because what I'm doing is showing, this was the project that we started on.
Yep.
Back in 23, 24. These were the funds budgeted for it. The grant is tied into that. So that's what we're building down from.
Yep.
In 2025, which shows on the second page, in 2025, we had a balance of the available money from that 350. Then the townships each kicked in another $250,000 for once the stonework's done, then the balance of the 350 project plus the 250 and the 250 is going to be the timber work that is scheduled next. It's a little confusing the way the operational report shows a piece of it and the structural report shows the whole thing. Newtown thus far has fronted all the money for the rehabilitation work. And then when everything's done, we're just going to, get reimbursed from Willistown. It makes it easier because it's now spanned 2023, 2024, 2025.
Yeah, it's that.
Put it in one basket. We'll run the financial report for that project, and then we'll clean it up at the end. I'll share this too with the grant money. So when the stonework is completed and the stone, we'll talk about the physical work soon, but it's very close to actually getting finalized. They're getting ready to frame. I think they framed up today or were started, formed. They're going to be pouring, then they're going to be restoring the stone on the exterior of it. So it may not look at it when you drive by the bridge right now, but that's actually very close to being wrapped up. When it is, we will have crossed over the threshold of $200,000 expended. The grant is $100,000, but it's a 50% match. So we have to spend 200, then we get 100 back from it. The problem is 175 of it needs to be in the construction area and only 25 in engineering. Our engineering numbers are too high right now. So before we reach out to the state and ask for our $100,000 back for the grant, we want to build up a little more timber money. And probably after the first timber bill, we'll be able to submit to it. I have already been in contact with the state. They prefer that because otherwise they would say, okay, you were allotted $25,000 of engineering. That's all we're going to reimburse on the engineering, and we would not get our whole $100,000 back.
That's where we're at right now, the 39.
Yeah.
47,194.
47,194.
The proposal was
Oh,
30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. The proposal was 139. The final on the second page, you see, we're up to 47,194 because it keeps getting rebid and we keep having to redo. It's painful, but we don't have a choice.
And
So the
so-
current available balance of the original 350 is 221,895.52. We are very close to finishing off that stone project. That'll be wrapped up then with that last bill. And our intention is to roll right into the timber framework.
Any luck on timber framing?
Well, we don't want to put it out until the stone is done, because if something were to happen and an additional expense comes in, we don't want to be in a bind having put it out saying, this is how much we have for timber framing and now we only have this. We're close though, Ed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, when we can pay that last bill and know that they still have a retainer, but we know what that amount is, there's no more bills coming in, we'll know exactly how much we could put out for the timber framework and then get that going.
Yeah,
The stonework's, it's amazing.
Yeah.
See that's their original.
It is beautiful work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
unfortunately, we ran into one of the coldest winters in a while too, so that masonry and stonework like pushed for a month and a half. We had to sit
Yeah.
and wait, to be able to do it, so.
It's nice that we're able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, what a difference from the parging to the stone. I mean, that makes that bridge pop.
Well, and Ed, I think you have spoken to the folks who are working on it.
Yes.
They know what they're doing. They're, they understand the history. They understand the craft that they're working with. And I think the product at the end of the day is going to be good. What I've seen so far is going to be good. I'm glad that at the end of the day, the Willistown side's being treated the way it needed to be treated with the full amount of work that's going on over there. so that at the end of the day, when it's done, we're gonna be confident of the stability of those piers.
Wonder if we should just for the season, I mean, it looks like there's a couple boards that need to be fixed up a little bit here and there. Is that an issue if I go down there and do that?
On the clapboards.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought we talked about that.
yeah, did we?
Yeah, secure them so they don't fall in the water.
Yeah, I mean, we've secured to make sure they don't fall in the water, but you're talking aesthetically to
Yeah,
do
just,
a
I
few
mean,
things.
Yeah, just,
That's not going to affect the timber framework that we're talking about, so.
yeah.
Worry about anything while this is getting. That water level rising and foundation work.
It happens tonight. If we get a wicked storm tonight, it could be a problem because it's on a bottle jack and
That's what I
little
mean.
pier.
Yeah, I mean,
It's downpour deal. I live right behind that. creek.
we, if you notice, I had them at least tarp the area while it was excavated, because when I saw it exposed, I said, you know, that's where we get our most water. But if you look to the way we had them stack their dirt pile and their stone pile, we had them stack it on this side, so it would act as more of a berm in case we did get a deluge coming down Goshen.
Today.
Yeah,
The trees and brush got, I was like, well, how much water did it take to move this big, half a tree essentially?
Mhm.
Brush.
Yeah.
And it's just concerning if that's on bottle jacks, if that's.
Yeah, we've been watching pretty carefully during every one of these storms that have been coming through, and thus far, we've been doing good.
also that front corner, for the abutment, the western abutment, underneath, the bridge is still sitting on underneath the other side, and the very corner of the western abutment, they're forming, the footers moving up the hill. So it is still supported almost on, you know,
Yeah.
75 to 80% of that bridge section on that side.
There's the bridge floating down.
Not now. We've come too far.
So any questions from the board about the structural rehabilitation financial report?
No.
Okay.
Do you think we're gonna have enough funds, or do you think we're gonna have to pause the project for the timber?
I think we're gonna have enough funds. We have budgeted based on where the last couple bids have come in. We're gonna be very careful how we put the bid out to get the work done. I mean, we know what's come in the last couple times. We're gonna be working with the solicitor and the project engineer to try to encourage as many bidders as is possible. There's a couple big players in the game, and that's the challenge you get, is they're the ones that work on these projects, and
Yes, they're spending.
the other companies sub for them. And we would love to see a wider variety of people bidding on the project. But a lot of the people that we would like to see bidding on the project as well are subbing for the bigger companies.
That's,
all these
that's
other
the way the Knox Bridge had a contractor, and Lancaster County was a sub.
Yeah, there's a possibility too. People are a little bit more hungry for timber frame work considering the price of steel that's gonna skyrocket here shortly. That might hold up some other jobs. Maybe people be a little more hungry to do some woodwork.
Cross the bridge before.
Anything else on financial project? Guess we sort of went over the structural too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess in closing on the structural report, you'll see some serious activity there this week. So, you know, if you wanted to stop by and see the work going on, you know, this would be a good week to see that. They're probably going to be wrapping up this week and then early next week, I would think, with the stone getting put in.
They poured the portal today, or they?
It was just framed.
Yeah, they framed it up. I think they're pouring it tomorrow.
Until Sunday, Monday.